Hello and welcome back to another video. So as you know, I have been metalsmithing and silversmithing for a little over the past year now. Now that I am semi out of the beginner stages of metalsmithing, while I still definitely consider myself a beginner, I am going to show you 5 tools that I've gotten that I was surprised at how much I actually use them. These are 5 things that are super useful. Most of these are from Amazon. They are unfortunately not the super expensive GRS branded from like Rio Grande or anything. I'm going to go over a couple of the most useful things I have found. First, one of the most useful ones I've found has been my dapping block set. So this dapping block set, which unfortunately is slightly rusty because my craft room is a bit humid, so I got to clean them up. But I am actually surprised by how many times I have reached for this dapping block set and how often I have used it to carve little pieces of silver, make silver flowers, make bales and little things. So it has come in very handy. And I really, when I bought it, I could see myself, using it for like flowers, but I didn't realize how many times I was actually going to use it. So it comes with this little silver block and then different sizes. You can use this and hit it with a hammer basically, and it'll help you bend the metal. For shaping metal, this is actually really good. So definitely something I am very glad I invested in. This one is from PMC Tools on Amazon. So it's not super expensive. It was a pretty good buy, pretty good value for money. The only thing is, unfortunately, keeping things in damp environments, they get a little rusty. So I do have to clean the rust up. Now, one of the next things I have bought was a miter vise. I didn't buy this originally. I didn't know if I would use it. And then I started to make some rings and stuff, and my cuts were not 100% like straight and even. And then when I was filing, I was having a hard time getting everything like perfectly straight. So the way this works is this is a little jig where you can stick like a piece of wire through or something and be able to file it completely flat. You can also file things at an angle, so if you are making any kind of angled ring, this is perfect. It did need a little bit of oiling when I got it. It has not rusted, which is awesome. It's still kind of like slightly oiled. That's probably why it hasn't rusted, so I need to oil my other stuff. But this is fantastic. I use this a lot, especially when I'm making rings. They make all sorts of these, so you can get this at all sorts of price points. This one also is from Amazon, so it's not a super expensive one. I forgot the exact price, so it will be linked down below. But actually, this is probably one of the more useful tools out of all the things that I have bought. So this is something I do reach for quite often. Now, another thing that I bought that I was surprised, but I wanted to learn how to do prong settings. And it's very difficult. The first time I tried to do them, I was absolutely struggling. I could not get them right. So I saw this tool online. I saw it at Amazon again. Everything here is from Amazon pretty much, except I think one thing. So this is a prong setting tool. So basically with this, I have a very easy way of being able to stick pieces of wire in here, be able to solder them together and solder a band, and be able to have something for a prong setting. So this is actually a really cool tool. It definitely takes some practice to be able to use it well. Definitely not as easy at first. It takes a little bit of practice, and you have to heat this entire piece of metal up because this entire thing is a heat sink. But it is really cool because then you can choose the size if you want to have a 4-prong, 5-prong, 6-prong. So it depends on what sizes you want. Stick your wires in them, and then you can solder them together and solder a band. This is super cool, super fun. I've used it a handful of times. I'm still not the best at prong setting, so it definitely takes some practice. This is a little bit harder to use at first, but I think with practice, it'll make making prong settings a lot easier. One of the next things I do want to try is that moldable soldering clay. I think that would also make my life very easy with prong settings, whereas moldable clay kind of is a consumable and you have to keep buying more of it, although I think it seems like it does last quite a bit. And this was just a one-time purchase, and then I have this for a while, which again, this also needs to get oiled because it's slightly getting rusty. So this is the only tool on here that is from Rio Grande. This is a pair of dividers. So these are super useful because you can set the distance, and if you want a straight line, you can set it with this little portion right here, and you can get a perfectly straight line. So I use this sometimes for etching a straight line in my silver plate if I'm going to cut it, if I want to cut it perfectly straight. This makes it really easy. I can use it with the ruler also. I can use it to kind of keep it equidistant from the edge. This is also really useful for just marking up the silver because these are real sharp, and I can mark the silver up to where I want to engrave it or anything. So I've actually found this super useful, and this was only like $8, I think. Something I pretty much use almost every single time I'm silversmith. Now, the last thing, and probably one of the best purchases I've made, is my ball vise. So it has a piece of leather in here. I did get this is the Vivor ball vise. So it is nothing fancy, but it works super, super well. So it's not super large, but at the same time, it works very well for what I need it for. And it turns super smoothly, so whenever I am setting a stone, this is absolutely perfect. And I use a little piece of leather, so this little piece of leather just sits right in there, and then my stone is secure and doesn't get scratched. It does come with a whole bunch of accessories, so which I like these like little tiny leather nubs. These nubs have a little bit of leather at the end, so we can also use that to hold different things. But yeah, that makes it so much easier when it comes to stone setting, because I was using just a ring clamp, and while that works pretty well, I don't mind it. Just having this like right here on the table in front of me, being able to turn it to be able to set my stone, this makes it my life so much easier. And then it has this key that you use it to tighten and untighten it, which makes using it super simple. This is just the Vivo one, so there is a much nicer one that Rio Grande and I believe Pepe Tools also carry. They are from GRS. They are super nice, but you're also talking pretty pricey. So you're talking, you know, a couple $100 sometimes for some of these. I'm sure they are probably well worth the price. From everything I've heard, it seems like they are very much worth it, but I don't have that. I am running on a small business budget. That means we do get a lot of budget friendly things, and this is a budget friendly purchase. I believe it was under $100 for sure, somewhere between 60 and 80 possibly. I will link it down below, so whatever the current price is now, I don't know. I got it last year. After silversmithing for like the first year, these are just 5 of the most useful tools that I have bought so far. I have my eye on a couple different things that I really want to get. There is a magnetic tumbler I've been looking at from Pepe Tools. I've been looking at all kinds of things like pendant motors, rolling mills, a larger polisher that I can put like buffing wheels and stuff on. So there's a couple things that I do really want to get, but they are also purchases that are now we're looking at, you know, $200 to $300, or some of them were upwards of like $500-600, unfortunately. So they're quite expensive. And as a small business, I kind of have to wait until I make some more money and save it up a little bit, and then I can reinvest it back into the business. So if you're interested in helping out get anywhere closer to being able to buy those tools, you can check out my Etsy shop. I do have some of my silverwork on there, and I have a lot of Electroform stuff on there. And don't forget to click that like button, ring the notification bell, and subscribe to this channel so that I can keep doing this. And I appreciate all of your support. We are getting so close to actually being monetized, which is pretty freaking awesome. I never thought my little channel would get this far, so this is really cool that your support has made a lot of things possible for me. I think some of the next videos I'll be going back to doing some more silversmithing very shortly, so you'll have some more videos on silversmithing to look forward to. So I'll see you at the next one.